A lot of disabilities start from even before we're born, when there are complications in the womb. Others occur during the time of delivery because of complications, maybe the right doctors or nurses were not there, or the person did not get them, or the woman did not get to the hospital in time. Others happen because of mismanagement of a childhood problem like meningitis, yellow fever, and so on. Because of these issues, you have a child that is not behaving like every other child. And so we say the child is not normal. But these children, when you look at them properly, society or science has gotten to a stage now that it has established that there is a reason for somebody not doing what everybody else is doing. So instead of us thinking he is crazy or he should be abandoned, we need to take time to look at that person. We need to find people who have the passion to study their situation. And now there is a name for just about everything. That child that doesn't want to talk to anybody, that doesn't want to play with everybody, there's a name for it. That child that is disruptive in class and cannot sit down and will break everything, there's a name for it. That child that, cannot see, cannot hear, I can name it so many issues. There are names for it. And it's a question of understanding what they are and managing them. So cerebral palsy is one of these conditions. There are so many childhood disabilities that come up from the childhood. There are other disabilities that occur as you grow older. You fall sick, then you can't do something for yourself. You have an accident, then you can't do something for yourself. You get old, then you can't do things for yourself. Somebody has to help you. They're all disabilities. The only difference is that somebody who has gone to school, who has learned to read and write, and suddenly ends up in a wheelchair, can still read and write and everything. So we don't really notice them as being that badly disabled. They can still get a job. But in the same way, a child that cannot do certain things for themselves, that cannot see or hear, given the right support, can become a useful member of society. So one of the reasons why we come here is for you to understand that children like that should not be treated as outcasts. They need love. In fact, sometimes the bad behavior that we are seeing from them is because we are not taking time to understand them. We are not showing them affection. We are making fun of them. You see, for instance, if there is a child here that stammers, stammering is not a disease, it's not his fault. It's just a problem with his breathing. And so, when he wants to talk, he gets anxious. And the more anxious he is, the more he stammers. Our comedians make fun of it. It's one of our biggest jokes in Nigeria. So everybody laughs. But you see, if you laugh at that child, then he'll stop talking. And if he doesn't talk, he will not get better. The more he talks, the more he learns to overcome that breathing. The solution usually is to tell that child to slow down. Slow down, don't rush. And with time, as they get older, you'll see they can. Some of them will even speak so well until when they get angry, then you stop. Then you know that, it's time to stop. Okay? So we need to help children like that. And we need to understand it. So when we make fun of them, we're making life more difficult for them. And that's why you see some of them get very wicked. They hit you. They do that's the only way they can get back at you. Okay? So let us understand that, and let's begin to show them love. Cerebral palsy is a very unique childhood disability because it affects a part of the brain. There are people who like to call it brain damage. I don't like to call it brain damage. I just call it a breakage in the brain that affects that part of the your brain that controls motor movements, hand, leg, whatever it is. Okay? Now, because of that breakage, it's like the electrical circuit is broken, current is not going there. It's not that that side is dead, but the link is not there. So the person wants to pick up something. The brain is saying move, the hand is struggling. Okay? And you see them, sometimes even the face and so on. And as they get older, because they're not moving that body much, it begins to stiffen. And they begin to get into all kinds of distortions. But guess what? Their brain is working. Some of the most intelligent people in the world, as of today, have cerebral palsy. We didn't come for a major presentation here. I'll show you videos and so on of people who cannot speak, who have never spoken in their lives, who are great scientists, who have designed things, who are working, who are earning money, who are helping companies. Because technology has made it possible to use like a computer and a voice-activated system to communicate, to pass their thoughts across. Okay? So, that's what cerebral palsy is. It presents itself variously. It could be one side of the body that's affected, either left or right. It could be just the lower part of the body, in which case the face is pretty much okay. And it may be the whole body, where even to speak is a problem. To do one thing or the other is a problem. But like I said, that's it. Now, let me tell you, so I've said it's not brain damage, but let me tell you one or two things here just before so I can round up. There are about 17 million people in the world with cerebral palsy. In Africa, we have over 2.6 million people with cerebral palsy. So you bring it down to Nigeria, it's well over 700,000 people. Even this 700,000 is here or there because we are not very good at keeping records. Because our society is not that friendly to the disabled, many people don't even bring their children out. So you don't easily see them. Then we have a lot of children that are not born in hospitals, so we don't even have records of that. But let's just say roughly 700. What that means is that out of every 1,000 children that are born, easily over 230 of them have cerebral palsy. In this country we're talking about. Cerebral palsy can be evident right from birth. You see, when a child has issues, right from the childbirth, the experts in the hospital, they know there's something wrong with this child. He's not breathing well, he's not able to feed himself, he's not able to, so already there are problems and they're looking. But it takes about 12 to 18 months to be able to confirm that this is cerebral palsy. There are many other things. I'm sure some of you have heard of Down syndrome, you've heard of autism, you've heard of attention deficit disorder. There are so many. But Down syndrome, cerebral palsy is unique in the sense that it can be confirmed using scientific methods as early as 12 to 18 months. And once that happens, all that can be done is management. The management can include medication, but it is not treatment per se. The person that has cerebral palsy can be looking normal up to 2-3 years old for the child. But as they get older, they begin to go into some kind of physical distortions. So the condition itself is not deteriorating. It is the inability of the body to exercise itself properly and to do the right things that will do that makes it happen. Okay. Now, as you sit here, all of you, you're moving. You're moving your hands, you're moving your leg, you're adjusting your position. Those are natural things that exercise your body. When a person sits down and is unable to move, what happens after some time is stiffness begins to come in. And that's how come you see them getting into those discussions. They have issues like seizures. They have what we call, you see some of them, they'll be dripping speed. It is not, how can I explain? It's because, you see, the tongue is the most powerful muscle in the body. It's also the most active muscle in the body. So when the brain is unable to control some movements, it means that they have problems controlling their tongue. And without control of your tongue, you cannot swallow. At least not as well as most people can. And if you cannot swallow, then you drool. Spit will drop from time to time in your mouth. In fact, some of them is so bad that they can't even feed, they can't swallow food. Okay? So you'll see them, they will drool. You'll see them, they will have one or two things. Now, if they are not well taken care of course, they will not look good. They will also have saliva swelling and every other thing. So they will also not smell well. Okay? But then those are the reasons why we need to understand to take good care of them and move on. Okay? But the most important thing to know is that cerebral palsy and virtually every childhood disability is not contagious. It is not infectious. I hope we get that. It is not contagious. It is not infectious. So hanging out with someone who has cerebral palsy will not make you to catch cerebral palsy or anything of that nature. So let us be willing to reach out to them, to embrace them, to help them out, and even members of their families. So, as of today, there is no known cure for cerebral palsy and most of the disabilities. But just as a few of us are wearing glasses here, there is management. The glasses is a tool that is managing your ability to see me. Is that also? If you remove your glasses, then there will be a little problem. Am I right? But with your glasses, which some people I'm sure are looking at that, this is cool. You can see me very well. Alright? So let us understand disabilities, let us understand cerebral palsy, and let us begin to talk to people about it, begin to encourage other people to be friendly to people who are not as able as ourselves. Because guess what? Even if you live to be 90 years old, you will come one day to become a disabled person, where you will need somebody to take you to the bathroom or help you clean up and so on. So the more we understand about disability, the easier it is for us to cope when we get into those kind of situations. So that's it. That's what I want to say to you about cerebral palsy. So let's enjoy ourselves. Does anybody have a question to ask? Left here, very intelligent people. In the middle, very intelligent people. And on the right here, absolutely intelligent, brilliant people, right? Give yourself some kind of round of applause. And let us, all of us now, let us take a pledge. Let's take a pledge that the next time we see somebody who is not able to do what we can do, we will not make fun of that person. We will not join other people to make fun of that person. Instead, we will reach out to them in love with some understanding, and we will try to educate other people as to why they need to be more understanding of these people. Thank you very much.